This is the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, a rugged, pristine wilderness where towering forests, raging rivers, and a massive inland sea come together in harmony. We're here in the Porcupine Mountains at a backcountry cabin perched on the edge of Lake Superior's shore. Come along as we witness the raw power of nature and enjoy the simplicity of life in the North Woods. This is Tiny Cabin Life. We're in the Porcupine Mountains Wilderness State Park on the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. This place has been on my bucket list for years at this point, and I'm so excited to finally be here. It's located on the shore of Lake Superior and offers 60,000 acres of rugged peaks, cliffs, waterfalls, and old-growth forests. And so, needless to say, it's a pretty special place. This is so exciting, you guys. I've wanted to come to the Porcupine Mountains for a very, very long time. And one of the reasons that I've always wanted to come here is because they have all these backcountry cabins scattered throughout the park. And finally, I'm getting the opportunity to check one of them out. The vast majority of the cabins and shelters here require you to hike in, offering a true backcountry cabin experience, which is kind of rare to come by around here. The cabin that I picked is one of only a few that are pet friendly, so you're kind of a little limited in that regard, but it looks like it's just an amazing spot. It's right on the banks of Lake Superior and is a true tiny cabin, so it's going to be right up our alley, I have no doubt. It wasn't long before the cabin first came into view, nestled within a grove of beautiful birch trees. What a beauty. And man, you can hear Lake Superior just roaring over there. Can't wait to check out the beach later. The cabins here in the park do require reservations, so you'll have to collect a key from the visitor center in order to gain access to the shelter. Oh man, this is so great. So the cabin layout here is very, very simple. There's no electricity, there's no running water, of course. You've got 2 bunk beds. I'll probably sleep up on top, put Ellie down on the bottom. There is this nice little bar area here where we'll be able to make our meals and sit and eat. And then over on this side, you just really have the wood stove, which is gonna provide our heat tonight. We have a little bit of wood to get us started. I'm really hoping there's some more firewood outside. Apparently they don't stock the firewood starting April 1st, so we could be out of luck, in which case we'll have to go hunt for some. But then on top of that, we just got a couple of hooks to hang some things and a few tools as well, like a broom, saw, and an axe. All in all, the cabins here are really set up for visitors to have an authentic backcountry experience. And while the park manages and oversees maintenance for these places, it is really up to the users to take care of them and clean up when they're done, truly giving a sense of ownership to each person who comes through here. Now that we've arrived, it's time to unpack my gear. With our gear unpacked and a fire started, we could now head down towards the beach. Wow, is this cool. Oh my gosh. I always seem to forget just how grand Lake Superior is. Just the sheer power that is coming across that lake and smacking against the rocks down there. It's honestly mind-boggling. And to think that our little cabin is just right there through the woods. It proves once again how important our national parks, state parks, and public lands really are. They make extraordinary things like this accessible to anybody. And so, man, what a privilege it is to have this as our private beach for the next couple of nights. Now that we're back at the cabin, it's time to get some dinner going. Well, this right here is an absolute mountain of pasta, and I cannot be more stoked to eat it. This is one of my favorite backpacking meals of all time because it's very easy to make. Everything is shelf stable, you know, so there's nothing you have to keep cold to make this stuff. And it really, really hits the spot, especially after a long day of hiking. Well, it's been an awesome first evening here, but I am so incredibly tired. I actually woke up in a backpacking shelter in Wisconsin, hiked out of there, and then drove here to the park and then hiked in here. So it's been a long day. We've got an awesome day ahead of us tomorrow, but for now, I think it's time to get some sleep. See you bright and early. Good night. This is my favorite type of weather right here. It's beautiful outside, but just chilly enough to need a little fire in the wood stove. I got a great night's sleep last night. I ended up on the bottom bunk with Ellie because it was just too hot with the fire up on the top bunk there.
After enjoying some coffee inside the cabin, I decided to head outside to make some breakfast. Dear God, thank you for another day in the Porcupine Mountains. Oh man. Just a nice simple breakfast taco here. I used up the rest of the meat from last night and cracked a few eggs. That's it. Now with breakfast out of the way, it's time to get things buttoned up here at the cabin so we can head out for the day.
So we're gonna head out and do some exploring now. I'm going to bring a few things back to charge at the car while we're out and about. I'm also gonna haul out some things that we don't need anymore, like our dirty dishes, just to cut down on the gear that we're gonna have to bring out tomorrow when we actually leave.
So as of now, the plan for the day is to head to the other side of the park. It's the only other side of the park that's currently open. And we're gonna check out a couple of waterfalls as well as the coast of Lake Superior. Unfortunately, the road up to the beautiful Lake of the Clouds is still closed for the season. We could hike 6 miles there and 6 miles back to see it, but I think we'll get a little more bang for our buck today and get out and explore some other things. Now that we're out of the woods for a moment, I want to show you guys how I'm able to manage being off-grid and on the road for an extended period of time. There's a lot that goes into filming these adventures, and I rely on electricity all the time. And it's not just for charging my camera gear, it's for all the other little things as well that we take for granted. For instance, since there's no electricity at the cabin we're staying in, I rely on these rechargeable lanterns. But on top of that, when I'm traveling from place to place like this, I want to be able to pack my food ahead of time. And so having a refrigerator in the truck is super important to me as well. And let's also not forget all of the safety equipment, especially my satellite internet, which allows me to stay in touch with Riley and Olivia at home. All of these things are being powered by the Bluetti Apex 300, which is an absolute beast of a power station. The Apex 300 is a versatile all-in-one power station with 120 volt and 240 volt outputs. And this thing has so many outputs to power anything that you could ever need out on the road and at home. It's a great base unit, but there are so many different accessories that you can add to customize your experience. A lot of the camera equipment that I use charges off of DC, and so having the Hub D1 here was really important to me. I've expanded my outputs to have 2 cigarette lighter ports, 2 USB-C, 2 USB-A, as well as 2 DC 5521 ports and 1 50A Anderson port. Here's some other things that I love about this thing. It's compact and space-saving. It's also extremely user-friendly and completely plug and play. It also has a wide application base. It's not just perfect for out here on the road, but also at home if we experience power outages. And there are multiple different ways to charge this thing up. We're able to utilize RV park chargers, solar power, or even dual power with solar and another DC input. But you can also use an EV charger, which will charge this thing up to 100% in just 65 minutes. As you can see, the Bluetti Apex 300 is an awesome unit, which helps me out tremendously here on the road as well as at home. The Bluetti Apex 300 will be launching soon on Indiegogo. You can learn more about pre-order benefits in the description below. We're headed to the Presque Isle region of the Porcupine Mountains, which is on the very far side of the park. And because the main park road was also still closed, it took us about an hour to go outside and make our way over there.
Wow, you guys, this river is absolutely roaring. So dangerous. Oh my gosh. Not for us, of course, up here, but man, if you fell in, you'd be done.
This is the Presque Isle River here in the Porcupine Mountains. It winds its way through the rugged forest here and eventually dumps out into Lake Superior. It's particularly known for the Presque Isle River Gorge, which we're hiking through right now. The gorge is a deep, narrow canyon that was carved by the river over thousands of years. The gorge features several waterfalls, including the beautiful Presque Isle River Falls, which we'll certainly be checking out in a little while here. The water level on the river is exceptionally high due to the recent snowmelt. The Upper Peninsula of Michigan received an insane amount of snow this season, and that has caused the rivers here to swell up to extraordinary sizes, and thus putting on quite a show for us while we're here today.
We're gonna go check out the mouth of the river where it enters Lake Superior before we head up to the falls. And there's the end of it. Wow. It's amazing to see all of that water just pouring into the massive Lake Superior. Oh man, it's so nice to kind of get away from the noise of the river and just hear those waves lapping up on shore. And here is the other side. Man, it's much more calm over here.
As we made our way up towards the falls, it began to rain. Thankfully, the forest should provide us a little bit of shelter.
It's amazing how the canopy in here protects us from the rain, at least enough, to stay fairly dry. And just look how vibrant the color is in this forest. It's mesmerizing.
As soon as we stepped out of the forest, we got our first partial view of Presque Isle Falls.
Wow, just look at that. And it looks like we've got another set of falls just over the edge here. Words cannot describe what I'm seeing right here. There is just so much water, so much power making its way down through this canyon. It is unbelievable. Good girl, Ellie. You're a good girl. Thank you for waiting up there. Ellie is so smart. She knows when things are a little too sketchy for her, and so she'll just wait like this for me, which is just amazing.
Now that we've seen the lower falls, it's time to get a better view of the main event.
Wow. Now that is a waterfall. What's absolutely amazing is the fact that whitewater kayakers will put in above all of these falls, and they will go over every single one of them. I've done my fair share of whitewater rafting, a little bit of kayaking, but I cannot imagine what it's like to not only go over those falls, but to then have to navigate the force of this river right now. Not gonna lie to you guys, I was pretty bummed that the Lake of the Clouds Road was closed, but I have to say, this area has blown my mind. Everything from the river to the waterfalls and Lake Superior has just been on another level. And it just goes to show that no matter what time of year it is, you're gonna see some amazing things here in the Porcupine Mountains.
After checking out the falls, we made our way to the other side of the park and began to hike back into the cabin. Now that we're back at the cabin, there's a few chores that I need to get done. First off, I want to split some firewood for the wood stove tonight. It turns out there's still quite a bit of firewood left over, which is really, really great.
Now that we got the wood done, gonna head down to the lake quick to filter up just 1 more liter of water. I've got a couple liters back at the cabin, but I'd feel better having just 1 more so I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the night. You guys, this is so amazing to me. Like, honestly, this looks like I'm walking amongst tide pools right now. Unreal. These water filters are amazing. You could filter the worst water in the world and it would be safe to drink. That's good.
Now with both the chores out of the way, we can finally get a fire going and start relaxing.
Can't tell you guys how nice it is to have the sun staying up longer and longer each day. The entire winter, it just feels like I'm constantly racing against the clock. But now it's spring here, we're getting so much more daylight, and that gives me much more time to relax like this. very simple meal tonight for dinner. Just some Spanish rice with carne asada, sort of, and some cheese on a tortilla.
I just love these moments when the sun is down and all there is to do is just sit back, relax, and enjoy the fire. One of the major gifts of what I get to do every single week is that I get a lot of time to reflect. And man, I can't tell you guys how grateful I am for this life. To have breath in my lungs, a beautiful family, and getting to go out into these beautiful places every single week and share it with all of you. It's truly an honor, and I definitely don't take it for granted. So thank you guys for allowing me to do this. Man, once again, I just slept so well last night. The temperature outside is so perfect. It's cold enough where you want to have a fire, but at night when it goes out, it just creates the perfect sleeping environment in here. It's just so nice. But unfortunately, it is time for us to go. Just time for this one cup of coffee, and then we're gonna have to pack up and hit the trail.
All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you so much for coming along. The Porcupine Mountains have been on my bucket list for a very long time, and I'm so glad that we were able to come here, even though things are still kind of closed down for the winter. This is an amazing park. You get so many different things all in one place. The mountains, the forest, all of the rivers and streams and lakes. It's just incredible. Definitely someplace that I'm gonna be coming back to again in the future. Now I wanna thank all of you for watching, but give a special shout out to our patrons who generously donate to this channel. Thank you guys so much. But again, all of you who watch, subscribe, comment, you're the reason we get to do this on a weekly basis, and we're so grateful for that. Quick reminder that we have some great new merch in our store. We've got 3 awesome new t-shirt designs: the boat cabin, the A-frame cabin, and our travel cabin designs. They're done by my cousin, and we do have a Tiny Cabin Life poster. It's got the whole family in it, and I think it's pretty cool as well. So if any of that interests you, go check it out. But with that, it's time for me to get home to the family. We'll see you next week. God bless.